So if I'm going to equate Middleton Distillery with this micro distillery, Method and Madness, Middleton would be like the Beatles. They have John, Paul, John, and Ringo. They have Redbreast, Jameson, The Irishman, Writer's Tears, Spot Whiskeys, Powers. All of those would be just their standard. Now, I don't want to say run-of-the-mill, but those are their mainstay. Method and Madness kind of reminds me of like the Rolling Stones. They're doing all these crazy things and all these different wood finishes and all these different maturations. It's like the Beatles are the parents and then the Rolling Stones are the kids just going crazy with their new toy inside of the parents' house. Welcome to Whiskey is a Journey. My name is Peter Fasciano, and in today's journey, we are heading to County Cork in the southern portion of Ireland. We're going to go ahead and take a look at Method and Madness. This is a single malt Irish whiskey. It's coming in at 46 ABV. It is non-chill filtered, it says it right here on the bottle. And I'm guessing that it's going to have some color to it. Now let's go ahead and pour it. Ooh. Nose it, taste it, and talk about it. All right, so Method and Madness is a micro distillery found inside the Middleton Distillery. So this one's actually finished in French oak. And some of their other lines, they have finished in Spanish oak. They use 3 different types of Japanese oak, the Mizunara, the cedarwood, and they also finish one in Japanese chestnut. So we've got these wild kind of finishing and maturing woods that they're using. On the nose, it's very, very light. I'm getting some fruitiness. I'm getting a little bit of apple and pear. Let's go ahead and taste it. That doesn't drink like 46%. That's actually very, very smooth. You know, in the whiskey world, you use that word smooth all the time. It means something different to everybody. With me, the smoothness means low in ethanol. It doesn't light my mouth on fire. It doesn't light my chest on fire. It doesn't burn going down. It just has this smooth characteristic, floats over the tongue, reveals all these little individual flavors. I'm getting a little bit of some maltiness in here. I definitely get that appley, pear, lighter fruit. Nothing spectacular, nothing over the top. The finish is medium to short. Doesn't last very long. Yeah. Very pleasant experience overall. I ended up picking this bottle up at Total Wine & More for about $89, very early on in my whiskey journey. I have not seen it in Total Wine & More, and I've also not seen it in any other places that I've been, whether it's Bevmo or in any of my other liquor stores, the local liquor stores around me. So I'm not necessarily sure how widely available this was anymore. They're saying that the age of the whiskey in here, well, let's talk a little bit about age first. This is a non-age statement whiskey. However, it does say that this was laid down in 2002. It was aged for at least 13 years or matured in ex-bourbon barrels for at least 13 years and then finished in the French oak for a year. So even though this could be 15-year-old whiskey in here, it doesn't give you anything specific. As they blend it and as they're taking it from other barrels, there could be younger whiskey in here, but based on the research that I've done, it could be anywhere from 14-year-old whiskey all the way down to 3. Let's go ahead and give it a taste again. And there is definitely a creaminess to this. On the back of here, on the back of this label, they're saying that the taste, we could get cracked cinnamon sticks, ice cream cone wafer. I'm not getting the ice cream cone wafer, but I am getting some vanillas. And it might be vanilla ice cream, that kind of creaminess. And again, the finish is relatively short to medium. I'm not really getting anything after that initial taste. Now let's go ahead and add some water to this and see if there's anything else I can talk about. I've had this a few times, and I think it stands up with Teeling as far as the lightness goes, but it definitely does not stand up to the American single malts that I've had. They just seem to be a little bit more robust. These seem to be more refined, crisper, cleaner, lighter. All right, let's go ahead and let this sit for a second. So as this is sitting here, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Method and Madness, the micro distillery inside Middleton. Apparently, according to the research I've done, this is a apprenticeship program. So they have their master blenders, their master distillers, their whiskey scientists working hand in hand with apprentices. And they're going through the process of creating some really interesting whiskeys, finishing it in different woods, and they're also maturing it in different woods. So if I'm going to equate Middleton Distillery with this micro distillery, Method and Madness, Middleton would be like the Beatles. They have John, Paul, John, and Ringo. They have Redbreast, Jameson, The Irishman, Writer's Tears, Spot Whiskeys, Powers. All of those would be just their standard. Now, I don't want to say run-of-the-mill, but those are their mainstay. Method and Madness kind of reminds me of like the Rolling Stones. They're doing all these crazy things and all these different wood finishes and all these different maturations. It's like the Beatles are the parents and then the Rolling Stones are the kids just going crazy with their new toy inside of the parents' house. I believe Irish whiskey is not bound by anything specific saying that it has to be oak. I believe their regulations are just they can mature it in wood, just in general wood. I could be wrong about this, but I think Scotch is limited to oak. And I believe it has to be at least a minimum of 3 years and made in Scotland to be considered Scotch single malt whiskey. Ireland doesn't have to do that. They can just use wood. And I think that's where the micro distillery Method and Madness inside of the Middleton Distillery shines. All right, let's go ahead and taste this and see if the water has done anything to it. And now that I looked at the back of the label, on the nose, they're saying that like crushed peanut shells are coming across or could come across. And maybe it's power of suggestion, but I'm definitely getting some sort of dusty, malty, peanutty shell kind of nose there. I'm also getting some floral notes in this. Definitely light fruit. Apples, pears, peaches. Not so much pineapple, but maybe sweeter types of fruit. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. Vanilla wafer is definitely there. I think the water does kill it just a little bit. Floral notes are still there. The sweetness is there. I don't think this is spicy in any way. So if you're looking for like a fruity single malt, this is definitely something that you might want to look at. Easy drinker, doesn't burn, very pleasant taste. I'm kind of messing around with a star rating system. If I think about giving something 1 star, I don't think it should have been made. 2 stars, it's drinkable, but it's definitely something that is very questionable. 3 stars is just an average whiskey. 4 is a great whiskey. And then 5 is just out of this world. So if I were to rate this one, and I'm basically going on my instincts, this is just one person's opinion. Taste is subjective. Rating systems are subjective. So if I'm going to give this a star, I know I gave my Teeling single malt 3.5. And I don't think that there's much separating this one to the Teeling. I'm going to rate this the same. I'm going to keep this at 3.5 stars. It's something that I'm happy that I have on my shelf. It's not anything, that's going to wow you. So yeah, 3.5 stars, solid 3.5 stars. Nothing too spectacular, nothing overwhelming, nothing underwhelming. This is just a good, solid 3.5, easy drinking, very smooth to me whiskey. So with that being said, enjoy your journey. Do all the things that you normally are supposed to do. Like, share, subscribe, turn on that bell notification, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.